This past June, we spent 3 weeks in Scotland, and in our last video, we took a motorhome and a ferry to explore the stunning Isle of Mull. Now it's time to dive deeper. Join us as we get up close with the cutest puffins and venture to the legendary Fingal's Cave. You won't want to miss this. We are Our Family Adventures, and today we're exploring the breathtaking Treshnish Isles and the colorful town of Tobermory. Tobermory is the capital of the Isle of Mull, and it takes about 36 minutes to reach it from the ferry terminal in Craignoir. The village is known for its colorful bay front buildings, as well as being the inspiration for a children's TV show called Balamory. There are many shops, restaurants, and cafes in Tobermory, which includes a handmade chocolate shop, an ice cream shop, fish and chips, souvenirs, and more. From across the bay, next to the main parking area, there is a nice view of the village, making it a great opportunity to enjoy it and take some photos. On this side of the bay, you will also find the Tobermory Whiskey Distillery, which produces both Tobermory and Ladeg single malts. There are tastings available for both whiskey and gin. Tobermory was founded as a fishing port in 1788. The surrounding waters are rich with wildlife, offering frequent sightings of seals, otters, and even dolphins. We had dinner at the Mishnish restaurant, which is part of the Mishnish Hotel and Bar. The atmosphere is nice and cozy, and their seafood was amazing. It is highly recommended to make a reservation here. We were only able to get a table since we got there very early for dinner. Keep in mind, if you are on Mull with a motorhome or a camper van, the parking spots in Tobermory are limited, so arriving early to grab a parking spot is highly recommended. We chose Staffa Tours for our day out to see Fingal's Cave and the puffins on the Treshnish Isles, leaving from Tobermory. The boat will leave at 9:30 a.m. for a 4 p.m.-ish return time. You get to stay 2 hours on Lunga, where the puffins are, and 1 hour on Staffa to see Fingal's Cave. One of the things we had been looking forward to the most during this trip was seeing puffins, and boy, were we in for a treat. The Isle of Lunga is part of the Treshnish Isles and is home to thousands of puffins, seals, guillemots, razorbills, and many other seabirds. Puffin season is from mid-April to early August. A few things to keep in mind when doing this tour is to bring snacks and water, as there is no food provided or available for purchase. Also, make sure to take a waterproof jacket in layers, as the weather can change very quickly in Scotland. Our day started out breezy and chilly, but thankfully, once we arrived on Lunga, the sun was out and it was perfect. Upon disembarking, there is a short walk across a stony area and then a climb up to where the puffins are. Sturdy footwear or hiking boots are highly recommended. There are paths to stay on, so as to not disturb their environment or accidentally step on any puffin nests or burrows. We're at the Isle of Lunga, admiring these cute little puffins. They're everywhere. Like, as soon as you climb up, they're all over here. We have seen a ton of puffins, so June is a very good time, and thankfully we have a very great day. The sun is coming out. It was cold this morning, but it's better now, and it seems like where there's more people together, There's more puffins because I think they feel safer maybe around people because we scare their predators away. But you still need to be quiet and a certain distance away, otherwise they'll go back into their little nests. See all those spots over there? There's puffins, there's seagulls, and there's at least 3 species of birds. A whole bunch there in the front. When we first got in, the puffins were all coming out of their nests, just like where there was a lot of people, because like you stay behind a line and take pictures of them and admire them. They're on the cliffs right now. You can't get that close, but I got a nice zoom lens here. The puffins are actually much smaller than we had imagined, being almost the size of doves. The Atlantic puffins are black and white with bright, colorful beaks.
The 2 hours we had went by so fast as we were having so much fun watching and taking pictures of the cute puffins.
The Isle of Lunga can have close to 13,000 puffins at once, with over 6,400 puffin burrows. And as you keep on walking a bit further to Harp Rock, you will not believe the amount of other birds, including guillemots, razorbills, and others, all crammed together, being very loud and smelly.
Smell it too.
This is insane. Look how many birds.
We had to be back at the boat at 1 p.m. and from there we would head to Staffa and see the epic Fingal's Cave.
Here we are just arriving at the south stage of Staffa. In the first bit of Staffa you're met with there is the Great Face. Just over 100 feet high. Here you can see the 3 different formations of the basalt there. Now the cave just on the left hand side there, known as McKinnon's the Great Face. There is the boat cave, only accessible by a small boat. Very, very good day, but it's extended to the island by a fair distance. Now of course the one you've all come to see there, Fingal's Cave.
It took us around 25 minutes to arrive, and as soon as we disembarked, we headed to the cave first. The walkway even looks man-made, with the hexagon shapes all laid out for you to step on, a true wonder of nature. Fingal's Cave is made entirely of hexagonal basalt columns, formed by ancient volcanic activity. It's similar to the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. The vaulted ceiling and shape create incredible acoustics. The name Fingal came from an 18th century poem by James Macpherson, based on Scottish and Irish mythology. Fingal was a giant, and local lore suggests the cave was part of a giant's pathway. Afterwards, we climbed some stairs to the top of the island and did not encounter any puffins. We're not sure if there were any in nests or near the cliff's edge.
We at the Staffa Island to see the cave. It's a huge climb, but let's go to the top and see the views from the top.
Staffa is uninhabited and only accessible by boat. It's a small island measuring only half a mile long by a quarter mile wide. There are at least 5 other caves on the island, smaller than Fingal's, but still pretty and similar looking. These are the Salem Bay boats, ships. Not sure what they're called. There's 3 of them. You can kind of see from the road. The other one is in the back up there. The abandoned fishing boats at Salem Bay on the Isle of Mull are a popular subject for photographers, so a great place to stop and take some pictures. It was hard to find information on these boats, but it appears that they were apparently purchased in the 1970s with the intention of salvaging them, but they have since disintegrated. There's no exact area to park here. It's more like a spot to pull over that maybe fits 2 to 3 smaller vehicles. As we drove over to our next campsite, our jaws dropped at the stunning scenery on Isle of Mull. Each corner we turned revealed more beautiful green hills, sparkling locks, and dramatic highland views that took our breath away. Another thing we were really hoping for on this trip was to spot some Highland cows, and we were in for a treat. Just a few minutes away from the campsite, we came across a whole group of Highland coos, as they're often called on social media, grazing right by the road. There was a mama cow with 3 little ones, and they were absolutely adorable. Cows are usually gentle, but they are large animals and can be unpredictable. If you do encounter them on the road like we did, make sure to keep a safe distance, especially if there are calves around, as the mothers can be protective. And if they're standing on or near the road, proceed with caution as you drive. Often they'll move if they're in the way, but just don't rush them. We want to say a big thank you to our sponsor of this part of our trip, Go Explore Scotland. We got to drive this amazing motorhome for 7 days and explore a part of Scotland we did not know. If hiring a motorhome is of interest to you, check them out at goexplorescotland.com. I'll leave more details in the description below. Good morning from Isle of Mull. We are at Portnangal campsite. It is beautiful here. We are in front of I think that's a loch, and there's a very pretty mountain up in front of us right now. It's kind of cloudy and foggy on top of it, so you can't really tell that much, but I will show you some pictures here as I'm speaking. This campsite is very nice, very clean. I think it's new from the configuration. There is no check-in time specifically because we got here at 9 p.m. So I think there's a camera that just logs you in like as you drive through. And showers were great. The water pressure is awesome, nice and warm. Actually, very hot water, not too hot. Just for me, it was perfect. Got an awesome view from this campsite. It's not so full at this point. It was There were a lot more people here overnight, but it wasn't completely full. There is a road that goes through here, but it's not super busy, so cars drive through here. We were parked in one of these that faces the road, but it does have a view of the mountain and the lock. We will now show you the behind-the-scenes maintenance and prep of getting the motorhome ready to leave a campsite. And don't worry, we will skip the gross stuff. Every campsite has proper gray and chemical water disposal areas. First, we are starting with the gray water, which comes from the motorhome's sinks and shower. So we're emptying the gray water here. So before we leave, we need to make sure to turn off the gas, which is already done. And we're gonna fill up the motorhome with some fresh water and then empty the toilet bin. That's the chemical toilet disposal. Vai querer pôr a luva? And then from here, just dump this into there. And for a bit of humor, here's an example of what not to do when cleaning out a camper van or a motorhome toilet. All jokes aside, after emptying out the toilet cassette, rinse it out with the correct water hose.
Environment friendly formula.
So this is something to put in here after you rinse it out, just to kind of keep it smelling better. By the way, all of these instructions are provided to you by the Go Explore staff before you leave and begin your road trip. If you do this at every campsite, you won't run the risk of running out of fresh water or having the toilet cassette get very full and smelly. And voila, you are good to go. On our next video, we take another ferry to Iona and explore some amazing beaches. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of our Scotland and world adventures.